GIRFEC, getting it right for every child, is really important and is everybody's responsibility. So all practitioners working with children and their families should be thinking about it and should be aware of it. They should also be aware of the wellbeing indicators, which evidence how we ensure that young people are, for example, safe, healthy, included, nurtured, that kind of thing. The aim of the GIRFEC A Creative Approach conference was really about bringing together a wide range of colleagues to explore how creative approaches can impact on the wellbeing indicators and how it does make a difference to young people and families' lives.
I think the conference has been aimed at a whole range of partners, whether it be those that work in schools, people that support young people within education, arts workers, NHS. It's a wide range of people. I also think it's about how young people can be engaged creatively within the learning process, can look at how creativity can change their lives and how we can support young people to change their lives through creativity.
The conference featured a range of speakers. We had Kathleen Colvin, who set the scene about GIRFEC in South Lanarkshire, where we've come from and where we're at. And we also had David Cameron, who spoke about creativity and the impact that that can have and the work that he's been doing linked into that.
What creates that tremendous stress for so many of these young people and reverberates on through their lives is the fact that when they cry or call or talk or react in some way, many of them have no idea what response that will bring. Will they be ignored? Will they be slapped? Will they be put aside? They don't know. People need to get the opportunity to shape something, to make something, to create something. So one of the things that we need to do with our young people is empower them to be creative in that sense.
We had representatives from Education Scotland and Creative Scotland also talking about the national and local context and linking that into the National Creative Learning Network scheme.
I'm not in any doubt at all that one of the key ingredients in any success that we might have with young people is simply care. It's giving them a sense that somebody identifies with them, sees them as being worth investing in. And I think that element of GIRFEC around creating that trusted professional, that lead professional, I think is hugely important. And the point about partnership, I think, is it doesn't matter who that is, as long as they've got that kind of relationship with the young person, and they then have the influence and capacity to bring others together around them.
I think it was important for people to take part in a workshop and hear about projects which had actually taken place. It maybe gave them the confidence to then go away and do something themselves.
I've been really inspired by some of the speakers that have been speaking this morning, particularly David Cameron. But I've also learned a bit more of the detail around some of the projects and initiatives that the cultural coordinator team have been innovative in and led, and I've managed to make a lot of kind of networks and contacts, and they're all kind of really going back to their own localities to look at taking forward pieces of work.
I think one of the things that we needed to talk about in the course of today is that we're not just simply sitting around the table, still with different cultures, still with different disciplines and still with different viewpoints. We need to open up the issues around that which we will do commonly and that which we will prioritise commonly. The great thing about this conference is it's both top down and bottom up. Quite often in the context of some of the young people we're talking about, it may well be the lowest paid person who's dealing with them that have the deepest understanding and the best idea. I think that's why a lot of the discussion around creativity is hugely important, because that brings in the cultural coordinators, brings in much of the kind of activities that we do in community learning and development, touches on a whole number of the areas which have a huge and significant impact on health, both physical and particularly mental.
It's always good to have a first step. I suppose the reality is what we do next and making sure that we build on the practice that we've heard about. We try to engage with each other. We make sure it translates to what we do with young people, changing our practice, developing partnerships and being innovative. I think those are the things that can help us and really change the lives of young people.